Pixar spent 25 years building to that ending. Andy drives away, Woody watches, the toys find their new home. It was perfect. And now there are serious rumors Pixar might undo it. A fifth Toy Story film is reportedly in development. Woody, who was written out completely, may be coming back. And if that happens, it doesn't just add a new chapter, it rewrites what the ending meant. That's not a small thing. That's one of the most consequential creative decisions Pixar has ever faced. And most people aren't talking about what's actually at stake. Here's why this matters right now. Toy Story 4 released in 2019. It was supposed to be the final word. Woody chooses freedom over belonging. He stays behind. After 4 films and 24 years, that was his ending. But Pixar is not the same studio it was in 2019. Disney has pushed sequels and franchises hard across every division, and Toy Story is the most valuable IP Pixar has. The pressure to return to it is real. So the question isn't, will they make Toy Story 5? The question is, what does Woody's return actually cost? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's on the line creatively, why the ending of Toy Story 4 was structurally complete, what a Woody return would require to work without breaking everything, and whether there's actually a version of this that could be good. Let's be precise about what Toy Story 4 actually did. Woody's entire arc across 4 films is about one thing: purpose. His purpose is to be loved by a child. That's not just his job, that's his identity. Toy Story 3 nearly resolved it. The toys almost get destroyed. They survive. Andy gives them to Bonnie. It felt complete. But it wasn't Woody's ending, it was Andy's. Toy Story 4 went further. Woody realizes Bonnie doesn't need him the way Andy did. He meets Forky, a toy who doesn't want to exist. He meets Bo Peep, who found purpose outside of a child's room. And at the end, Woody makes a choice. Not out of loss, not out of failure, out of growth. He lets go of the only identity he'd ever known. That's a complete arc, beginning, middle, end. It doesn't leave a story gap, it closes one. Which means any continuation doesn't add to Woody's story. It has to reopen it. Let's say Pixar does it. Woody's back. For that to work narratively, not just commercially, they need an answer to one question. Why wasn't the ending enough? There are a few directions they could go. Option 1. Woody's freedom wasn't as fulfilling as it looked. He's out in the world with Bo, living loose, no child to belong to. And maybe that absence starts to hollow him out. That's a real story. But it also says the ending of Toy Story 4 was a mistake. Not a choice, a mistake Woody has to correct. Option 2. Something external pulls him back. A crisis, a threat, Buzz needs help, Bonnie is in danger. Classic sequel logic. Woody comes out of retirement for one more mission. It works in action films. But Toy Story is not an action franchise. Its power comes from emotional truth, not plot mechanics. Option 3, the most interesting one. Woody has to confront what freedom actually means long-term, months later. Not the romantic idea of it, the real daily weight of having no purpose assigned to you. That's a story about identity after liberation. That's genuinely unexplored territory for this. This isn't the first time a beloved franchise has faced this. Look at The Force Awakens. Return of the Jedi ended with Han, Luke, and Leia winning. The Empire falls. Balance is restored. Then Episode 7 reopened it, and Han Solo died, undoing what he'd already accomplished. Look at Logan. It worked because it wasn't a continuation. It was a final statement that didn't need the previous films to justify itself. It earned its ending because it wasn't afraid to end. Toy Story 4's ending is closer to Logan than to Jedi. It wasn't a cliffhanger. It wasn't ambiguous. It was a door closing.
The films that successfully reopen closed doors usually do one thing right. They don't pretend the previous ending didn't happen. They force the characters to live with it. The Bad Batch in Star Wars did this. The Mandalorian Season 1 did this. They didn't undo the canon, they moved through it. If Pixar brings Woody back and pretends Toy Story 4 was just a detour, that's when the damage happens. Not just to the new film, to everything that came before it.
Here's the honest answer. Yes! But it requires something most studios won't do. It requires the new film to be about the cost of the ending, not in spite of it. Imagine a Toy Story 5 where Woody and Bo have built something together. A life outside the system, a new kind of purpose. And then that life gets disrupted. Not by a villain, not by a plot device, but by something Woody chose that he now has to reckon with. Maybe Forky is in trouble. Maybe a toy from his past needs him. And Woody has to decide, do I go back? Even partially? And what does that cost Bo? What does that cost me? That's a film about the weight of freedom, about how the choices that liberate you can also isolate you. That's not a betrayal of Toy Story 4. That's the next honest chapter of it. The version that fails is the version made for safety. Woody back with the gang, new toys, new kid, warm ending. Audiences will watch it, they'll probably cry, and it will quietly erase one of the best.
Pixar hasn't officially confirmed Toy Story 5 yet, but the reporting is consistent enough that this conversation is happening now, whether the studio admits it or not. If you want to stay ahead of every development on this and every other franchise call that could reshape a story you care about, subscribe. We track this so you don't have to start from scratch every time the news breaks.